This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and thanks so much for listening. This is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Werner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to have a fabulous show, like we were saying before. But we have, once again, a good friend of mine who is the K-9 Mentalist. He is an Army K-9 handler, veteran. In the Army, was a K-9 handler, and then went into specialize with training dogs, and owns World of Dog Training, and is known like the dog whisperer, the K-9 Mentalist, and I've seen him in action with dogs. He's trained my dog personally, and he's here to answer all questions and give us some tips and some free tips for our Moments of Clarity listeners on how to train your dogs, how to be emotional support dogs, how to have a real chance to have a really good relationship with your animal, like where they're happy, you're happy, and you can bring them wherever you go, and it's awesome. Before I introduce him, I want to say hi to Ryan Moulton behind the scenes, and behind the glass is Ed. And if you're listening on the radio, you've got to see him. He looks like Hannibal Lecter or something. What is on your face?
It's my mask.
That's your mask. It doesn't even cover the whole place. So it is a Buccaneers.
Look, it covers everything it's supposed to cover.
I'm going to get you a Moments of Clarity one. I've got them on the way.
And look,
Moments of Clarity. It's going to say, mask your face, not your feelings.
All right,
how's that?
And it'll also be a blind date. See?
Does it fit?
Yes.
Well, at least why are you wearing a mask? I thought you said everything's kosher down in the studio. Now you got masks on in there too?
See?
This is why we're doing it from home. Social distancing versus trusting that Buccaneers mask.
Actually, it fits perfect. It only took 2 months to get
It's supposed to cover your nose and your mouth.
It is. Look, it's underneath my chin. Look.
Okay. It's scary looking. But okay, go. I mean, next one will say Tom Brady. Like, go Bucks. So, like, I'm definitely a Bucks fan now.
Guess where it came from? China. So they gave us the virus. They gave us the virus, and they sold me the antidote.
Probably. They did. But, well, it matches the Tan Talk logo.
Yeah. It's actually comfortable.
But I'm still going to get you a Moments of Clarity one. And mask your face, not your feelings. It's a good mental health slogan.
It's called Safe Radio.
Safe Radio. Yeah, but besides that, you okay? It turned into like, oh, we're just wiping things down, social distancing, and now you got a mask.
Well, I waited long enough for it. I thought I'd wear it. Took almost 2 months.
Well, at least you're doing practicing safe stuff. That's fine. I'm not there, but I'm always worried about you. And thanks for being the front line, keeping the radio going, keeping everything going, even though not everyone in there is practicing safe practices. So, and then learning to Zoom in with us so that we can have the radio and Zoom. And anyway, thanks so much. And is Lola there with her dogs?
No, it's Friday. She's lunch first.
Because we got Ryan Matthews here today, the World of Dog Training K-9 Mentalist, and we could have maybe you can take some notes for her, like how to help train, those wild puppies. But we'll get to that.
The one pulled the TV off the wall yesterday, so.
When I say wild puppies, I'm talking, what kind are they again? They're big, but
Bouvier, Schnauzer, Bouvier, something like that.
Called like basically little bears.
About 100 pounds.
They look like, yeah. When I say little bears, I'm not joking. I think you met them too, Ryan, when you were in the studio last time. But anyway, thanks so much for everything you do, Ed. Anyway, and I want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. We're on live. And if you have any questions for dogs, about K-9s, apparently he doesn't know anything about cats, but everything about dogs. And I want to welcome to Moments of Clarity, Ryan Matthews, celebrity dog trainer. Hey,
Tiffany, how you doing?
Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to see what kind of questions we have today. And I'm really excited to go deep as it relates to dog behavior and psychology and what you know about psychology of people as well. Right.
And so I can vouch, like Ryan came down a few months ago to train our dog Abigail. And it was like instant overnight, pretty much. It's all about learning your dog's personality, learning the structure, reframing what we think is best for the dog versus what the dog wants. And I mean, that's what I learned from it. And because I'm not only a host of the show, I'm a client of Ryan here. I'm not only hosting the show, I was once his client. And he, I mean, I saw instant things, like things that I thought were good for my dog or that made my dog happy. And it was like, honestly, a little bit counterproductive and wasn't what she wanted. And she felt better with different things that I didn't even quite catch on to. It's really weird. So sometimes we think we're doing what's best for the dog, but the dog is not a human. And so they think different. They want to be put to work. They want to hurt animals. They want to like things like that. They're instinctual, and then they want to be praised as well. So anyway, Ryan is joining us from Los Angeles. He's a celebrity dog trainer, has the world of dog training, is also a veteran from the Army, and so many things to be so grateful for. So tell us a little bit about why you got into dogs, Ryan, just for those that are just meeting you for the first time.
Sure. Well, it started back in 2002. I was in the Army and I was on a deployment to Rijeka, Croatia. And I remember hanging out and watching the K-9 handlers doing bite training with the dog. And I had never seen that before. And when I saw the bite training, I'm like, that looks really cool, number one. And number two is I later ran into those guys. And when I ran into them, they were like kicking back like civilians, their feet up on the desk, like chilling out. Like they did not have the military bearing that I was used to. But I like that. I was like, wow, these guys are like, seem so happy. They're so cool. They're so chill. And then I was like, excuse me, Sergeant. I was lower ranking at the time. I said, can I talk to you about what you do and being a dog handler? And he's like, sure. And so I just started picking his brain. And then I knew that was exactly what I wanted to do. And then the next thing you know, a year later, I'm on my way to K-9 school at Lackland Air Force Base. And I never had dogs growing up, but my first dog was this 95-pound German Shepherd trained to attack, which is kind of crazy.
95-pound trained to attack German Shepherd.
Yeah.
And so when you were saying that you were passing by like them training and you were like, that looks so cool. That's when like you see the guys in like the big pillow suits and the dogs are like attacking them like viciously and like they got their arm or whatever. And
that's right.
They get a treat, that kind of thing.
Well, the treat is the bite.
Everyone wants to get, wrapped up in blankets and get attacked by a vicious dog that's like, just kidding. No,
a lot of people do actually, but I don't recommend using blankets because if the dog's hardcore, the blankets won't work. But you're right. People
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's called a bite suit.
The bite suit. So it's like, yeah, I mean, but that's where basically they get to like go full at it, and I'm sure they love it too. They're like, arr, like, arr.
There's a lot of going on. I do love it. And so some of the dogs, it's just play, and other dogs, it's real live. Like they want to bite. They're kind of nuts.
That's what I'm saying. They probably like finally get to just like, and then they lick you later, and you're like, oh, good boy. And he's like, I'm just tasting you. I didn't get it. I didn't get my teeth in you hard enough last time. I'm not giving you love of tasting.
It doesn't quite work like that, but I would say that there's some really cool therapy going on because if you think about it, and I just had this realization watching my own dog last night playing with a toy and going and, doing what we call thrashing and shaking his head left to right with a toy in his mouth. And I was like, wow, Zeus is releasing frustration. Right. And so from like a mental health perspective, I think it's really interesting to look at how do our animals release frustration? And then how do we release frustration? And I know, Tiffany, in my own journey, that I have subdued a lot of my negative emotions so much so that I could be a very happy and positive person, that I haven't really allowed my frustrations and anger to surface. And so I've been suppressing it, which I don't think is healthy. So I thought it was so cool that Zeus is releasing his frustration with the toy in a healthy way. And then he's calm after. And so I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah,
he's thrashing to be positive, PAWS.
Exactly.
Positive. And you've been trying to learn to be more positive.
Yeah, that's right.
Throwing that out there. No, but yeah, and like it's funny because like we are all frustrated, and I'm sure that our pets are too. And I've made a couple jokes on other previous shows, like kind of joking, but not really. But I was like, with this quarantine, and I've been working virtually from home a lot. I'm saying, it's kind of taking a toll on my pets. Like my cat used to be a lap cat. Like I would just like look down and the cat's sitting on my lap and I didn't even notice it. She wants nothing to do with me now. And the same with the dog. And I was like, don't you have somewhere to go? I think they're like tired of not missing us. Like it's like they want us out of the house, or they like, at least that was what they're used to. Like looking forward to something. Oh, they're going to come home soon, or like when plus the routine. They get their breakfast, we take a walk, and then we go to work. They come home, get them fed, get to walk, and they're like, "Yay!" And they get to sleep. Now it's like they're like, throw the ball again. Stop throwing that ball. It's just like they're like, go somewhere. I don't know. I think that everyone is reacting to this pandemic and the change in, routine and everything, even the animals, like more than we realize. Because it's like the psychology of humans. There's a psychology of canines too, right?
Absolutely. And what comes to mind is scarcity, right? And so I think scarcity can create desire. And so because there's not enough scarcity, the animal's desire has gone down, right? And
right.
So, yeah.
They're not wanting anything right now. They have it too much of a good thing for them.
Yeah. So in a lot of people as it relates to like dog training, a lot of people just reward their dog emotionally. Like, oh, you look cute. Here's a treat. But we're lacking scarcity, and we're lacking the motivation from the animal because things are just too free. And so imagine like in the workplace environment, if you just showed up and they're like, hey, good job sitting in that chair. We're going to give you $100,000 for that. You're like, what? But it's not all that different.
It's not different. That's a good point.
It gets diluted, right? And so I think that in many instances, scarcity can be a good thing. Think about a significant other traveling on business or going away. You eventually start to miss them more so. And when they come back, now you have a really good time, right? And so same thing with dogs as well.
Yeah, so we need to I don't know how to take care of that, but I want to get into that and to how to utilize that to our advantage, and how to not overwhelm our pets during this pandemic, during quarantine, during a lot of people working from home, how to emotionally not give in and like spoil them by accident and take away training, and some tips, like the best tips that I know you have some giveaways, like some tip giveaways and takeaways for our audience too. So I'm looking forward to that. I always learn something, and it always helps. I mean, you can see a few Brian's tips. You can see instant changes in your animal. Like, I mean, just a few, and it's so easy to do. And it's not like disciplining. It's just like almost like how you hold a leash even. It's crazy. But we're going to take our first break. Before we do, I want to remind you can call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. We're on YouTube Live, Twitter Live, Facebook Live. But you can also leave comments on Facebook Live, and we'll get them if you want any questions or anything. But call in 866-826-1340, and we're going to take our first break. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.